Welcome to the 2020 Limpopo Championship, played at the Euphoria Golf and Lifestyle Estate and the Coral Creek Golf Club. First of a series of 3 co-sanctioned events between the Sunshine Tour and the Challenge Tour. This tranquil setting belies the challenging nature of the Annika Sorensen signature championship course, the First Lady signature course in South Africa. Designed to preserve the indigenous fauna and flora, this estate has a true African bushveld setting. For more highlights of day 1 and 2, let's go over to OG.
Welcome to Moving Day at the 2020 Limpopo Championship, co-sanctioned by the Challenge Tour and the Sunshine Tour. The tournament is played across 2 Limpopo's best courses, and players have had the opportunity to play both. And here is a quick recap of how they fared in the first 2 days. Rookie Wilco Niinaber was in a 4-way tie for second place with Peter Khamis, Henny du Plessis and MJ Viljoen trailing by 2 shots after the opening round. The 19-year-old has taken to life as a pro with relative ease, and his performance this week clearly shows the amount of talent he possesses, and despite a few difficulties, he certainly mixed up with the rest of the pros.
I played nicely. The front 9 was really calm, so I tried to take advantage of that. The back 9, the wind started blowing a little bit, but not much, not more than a club. So I enjoyed the round out there. I played nicely. I made a few adjustments with my putter and with ping, and it's starting to play off nicely. So I enjoyed the course and it was great. I'm trying to keep it simple. My biggest thought, I'd say, is just to really make every shot count, because you're playing for more than just a title. So just really focus on every shot as if it's your last.
Situated only 90 minutes from Pretoria, Limpopo's Coral Creek offered the perfect opportunity for players to post low scores. And Daniel Fantona certainly did that. He blitzed around the Bushveld course to sign for a bogey-free 9 under 63, and he felt his game was in a good place after all the work he's been putting in.
For me, I was playing quite easy because I was hitting my driver quite good off the tees and hitting the greens in regulation, and gave myself a few birdie opportunities out there. Drive off the tee, seconds with the irons or woods, even the par 3s, I mean, it's irons off the tees, and chipping well and putting well. Everything's quite solid. I mean, putting is the game, is actually the name of the game, you know. If you putt well, you play well.
And it was an all-South African affair at the top of the leaderboard after the second round, with local favourite Jacques Kruijswijk and Louis de Jager signing for 64 each to total 13 under par, and they co-led by 2 shots going into the third round. De Jager made 8 birdies in his flawless round.
It was quite tough out here. I think wind was quite gusty and blew all kinds of directions. You know, it wasn't constant, but putted well. So real pleased with that score.
Yeah, it was a nice way to finish my day. Obviously, it was just a great day. So much good feelings around this golf course. This is where I grew up. This is where it all started for me. So, you know, I had great support out there today, and it was just nice to finish off my day like that.
Sitting third after the second round, and despite dropping a shot on his first hole of the day, Niinaber showed great resilience to sign for a 68, which took his total for the week to 11 under par, heading into moving day at Euphoria, which is the first signature course to have been built in Africa by the legendary Annika Sorensen, and it will provide the setting for what promises to be a dramatic weekend.
Stunning Euphoria Golf and Lifestyle Estate. Look at all these beautiful animals. Players enjoying the first 2 rounds, 1 round at Coral Creek and 1 round at Euphoria. You can see the humidity is not too bad, but the sun's at 32 degrees. Great overview of what we're going to talk about a little later in today's show. And welcome everybody to our second live streaming event on the Sunshine Tour. This has been co-sanctioned with the Challenge Tour, like we spoke about earlier. You can see some of the houses they've built on the stunning, spacious Euphoria golf course. Jacques Kreisweg, leader at -16. He has taken a 3-shot lead through 8 holes today. Louis de Jager, JC Ritchie, last year's winner of the Limpopo Championship, further 5 behind. Day 3. Gary Kigo further down, he is Rookie of the Year. And we are going to hand over and see what's going on with OG.
Hello, Al. Good afternoon and welcome to a very hot Euphoria. As you mentioned, it is 32 degrees out here. And someone who is as equally hot, it is, of course, Jacques Kreisweg. Already got 3 birdies in his 3rd round already. And behind me, we've got Henny du Plessis calculating his 3rd shot into the par 5 9th. And just beyond me are the leaders on the tee box about to play the 9th. And we'll definitely come back to you to give you more, Al.
Thank you, OG. Just like to welcome Jimmy from the Nomads in the booth. Welcome, Jimmy.
Thank you very much, Alan. It's a privilege to be here with you.
Oh, thank you. Jimmy joined the Nomads 48 years ago. And for all South Africans, we know what the Nomads do for golf all round, not just in the professional golf. But I think, Jimmy, 38 years of doing score capturing?
Yeah, it's been many years. I've done it 38 and obviously the passion to do it. So putting out and taking in is very good. I really enjoy it.
And I believe he did all the starting this morning, and obviously must be quite interesting with a lot of the younger guys, always nerves. Some guys excited to make the 3-round cut. What was the feeling like with the leaders, though?
The leaders seem to be very relaxed. Obviously, they've been in that position before when I'm talking about Kreisweg, JC Ritchie. They seem to have been getting to a level now where they compete at a high level, and they're all really competent to do what they're doing. But it was really nice to see the young Challenge Tour guys who I've never seen before, a lot of them. And the way they breathe before they swing, you can see that he tries to get all the breath out. So he's trying to make a good swing and he's trying to get it down the fairway.
Absolutely. That's always a good thing, to take a deep breath, and most amateurs and pros sometimes forget to breathe. Get no oxygen to the muscles, and the swing gets a little bit quicker and out of sequence.
That's for sure. And obviously, looking at the way this young Wilker hits the golf ball, and they tell me his ball speed is 198 miles an hour. That ball sure flies a long way.
No, Volkanino Abba is a definite talent and an exciting young man to watch with his prodigious length. And again, it's great to see him playing well. He's at -10 and he's 6 behind. He had a great week 2 weeks ago at Eye of Africa. Unfortunately, got DQ'd. We can talk about that a little bit later. But good to see him bounce back straight away. Great overview of how well spread this golf course is. And I only drove it yesterday for the first time. I haven't played it, but big distances between the green and the tee boxes. I think if you walk this course daily, you'd be pretty fit.
You'd better be very fit, because the last time I did walk it was 13,870 meters, and that's about 2.5 golf courses, I feel.
That certainly is, depending if you're doing a bit of army golf there, Jimmy. But I'm sure you're hitting it pretty straight.
This was just walking down the fairways, doing scoring as a TV logger. So I didn't have to play anything, but it was very difficult to watch these poor guys play.
Louis De Jager back down on the 9th. Louis De Jager had started the year well. 4th finish in the Fraser Bank Mauritius Open, finishing 1 behind. But that is not Louis De Jager, that is Gary Kiger, the left-hander, the Rookie of the Year. Fellow Cape Townian.
Yes, I think he's got a lot of talent, and I think he's going to make a big name for himself for the Sunshine Tour.
Yeah, he certainly has already. Winner at Sun City earlier in the year. Looks like he has overshot that green.
They're walking.
That looks like the 11th. Or should I say the 12th, the 12-5. Little dogleg left to right off the tee. Angles back the other way left. You can see they hit over like almost a big donga. Well bunkered.
Yeah, I've got mesh.
All really about the tee shot though. You get the tee shot away on this golf course. The fairways are pretty narrow, but you can see anywhere off that, you're in big trouble. Hey, Jimbo, I wouldn't like to go in that thick rough.
You better take a gun with you, I think, because some of the rough is really, really thick. And obviously this golf course reminds me of a course with a lot of no risk and rewards. Rather to play safe and make sure that your next shot is easier than the last shot you played.
Certainly. All right, back to the 10th fairway, Jaco van Zyl. .430-meter par 4. Mr. Green on the left, no problems there.
Ross McGann.
A good example there of this rough's a little tricky. You can get really thick lies or you can get a little bit lucky. Ross, a powerful player. You can see how he had to punch that out of there. Common visitor to South Africa. Loves playing out here, loves South Africa. Been on the European Tour many times.
Best effort from Brayton Meyer. I don't think he actually intended.
No, good to see Brayton Meyer playing well again though. Opening 268. Good young prospect and just battled the last year or two. He's moved back to his hometown George and seems to be more settled. And a result at last, so hopefully he can play well on the weekend. Last year's winner, J.C. Ritchie. Some highlights of what he did. And what an approach that was.
that on the par 5.
Yeah, JC Ritchie, huge talent. There's a nice picture of the big trophy. He's back in contention this week. And we look forward to seeing his golf over the weekend. It looked like Henny du Plessis from one talent to another.
He's a guy who have a lot of expectations of making a lot of good swings. He's a very dynamic golfer, and always he's ready to play dynamic shots, and he scores very, very well.
Back to the 10th green, we've got Ross McGowan. We saw him come up short out of the right rough. Greens are just a fraction on the slow side, not quite running out. Yeah, Ross McGowan back in, I think it was around 2010, almost made the Ryder Cup team. And then unfortunately he had 4 years of misery with injuries and all sorts of things.
He definitely seems to be on the way back into his better form, and it's nice to see that from Ross. He's a very frequent visitor and very popular in South Africa.
He certainly is. Daniel van Tonder, he finds the fairway. Key to this golf course. On the 10th green with Jaco van Zyl. 14 times Sunshine Tour winner. I'm getting confused with Darren Ficott last week, who got his 17th, the Eye of Africa PGA Championship. Probably because this guy's won 3 of them.
It's very true, and obviously with his wrist injury and neck injury he had, it's really good to see him coming back to good form, and hopefully he'll do well on the European Tour this year, and then go from strength to strength.
I was speaking to most of the players. They're saying the surface is good. It just would have been great if it just maybe a foot more pace, but I don't think that's the problem. Staying on these fairways and out of that thick rough is the issue this week.
Well, the drafts seem to be very different. They seem to be very coarse grass. And although it looks like you have a good lie, it always seems to hold the ball back and hard to get through the shot.
Drayton Mayer, we saw him hit it way left, so not a happy chap.
The par putt for Ross McGowan.
Lucky back in 2009 where he almost made that Ryder Cup team. He came second in the DT2 World Championship final. Oh, I don't know, he gave that a bit of a walk, Jimmy. I think
I think he thought he'd missed on the left-hand side, but the weight must have been good enough just to fall in from the left.
And a hard-fought par for Ross McGowan. Garth Marroy. He's birdie pattern 18. And it's nice to see Garth Marroy playing well. In the last month, he's definitely found a little bit of form. He's been back and forth from America. And he'll finish on -6 for the tournament, setting himself up for a good last round tomorrow.
Yeah, he said it's nice to have Garth back. He's an old campaigner, but obviously going to varsity in America, and where he lives, it's snow time now, so it's very difficult to play or practice there. And hence I think he's enjoying this few months out here and playing on the Sunshine Tour. We have Dani van Tonda.
That distinctive, unique swing of Daniel van Tonda, but a little unlucky there with that release. But impressive ball striker. Certainly is a big unit. Powerful player. Strong forearms. And you can see that guy's calluses on his hands. If you wonder how he practices, just go have a look at his hands.
He practices a lot, plays 18 in the morning if he's not in a tournament, and hits golf balls in the afternoon, so he's a really busy man working on his game. We have J.C. Ritchie playing his second shot now, into 10.
Seems to be a popular spot. I don't know if that wind is coming off the right in the last two groups.
They all look very bamboozled when it releases through the back of the green slightly, so it seems that they are misjudging the wind speed, or as you just rightly said.
Duplessis. Attractive golf shot.
That's really stunning. I mean, he's in the perfect position now to putt for birdie. And obviously the other guys are playing their third shots, and then he's now going to sum up a birdie putt.
Looks like Kenny Duplessis lost quite a bit of weight. The beard's gone, the long hair's gone, and the weight's gone.
Yeah, I think since he hurt his wrist a while ago, I think he's come back and he seems to change of character. And as you say, the hair's gone, and he's definitely lost a few kilograms.
For sure. First view of one of our Challenge Tour players. As we said earlier, this is a co-sanctioned event between the Sunshine Tour and the Challenge Tour, starting with 204 players in the field, cutting to 60. Tough tournament for the players. They have
It was a big cut to have 76 players.
We're going to go and just have a look, a little bit of the Limpopo tourism and what you can do in Limpopo. Oh, Daniel Fantona with his birdie putt on 10. A little back up the hill.
As you say, the green's been a bit slow. He needs to give slightly more strike on it to make sure it gets up to the hole.
He got it there, a little bit short. Jimmy, thank you very much for coming into the booth. Thank you and all your fellow nomads for what you do for golf in general and what you do for the Sunshine Tour. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Alan, and thanks for the invite. And once again, I say it's a passion we have. And obviously, the furtherance of golf is one of our main aims and objects. But thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Jimmy. Well, Jimmy leaves the booth. We have Jake Roos, who played this morning. Welcome, Jake.
Morning, Alan. Thank you for having me. It was a really nice day out there. Course is playing lovely. It's showing a bit of teeth today. As you can see, the scores are reflecting, but I think that's good. You know, we want to be tested. So.
Yeah, I see you made a nice little move. 70, 3 bogeys and 5 birdies, and that's moved up nicely compared to a lot of the other scores today.
Yeah, I played okay. I 2-3 putts on the front 9, but besides that, I hit it quite tidy, and I think that's one of the keys this week. Is the rough is quite brutal, and you got to be able to put it on the fairway. We have placing, so it makes it a lot easier, and I think it's good that we play some tougher venues as well, where the guys get tested a little bit, because it's a good prep for when they go elsewhere.
Absolutely. We spoke a little earlier about this is one of the first of 3 co-sanctioned events with the Challenge Tour, which I think you're quite a good player to understand. 6-time Sunshine Tour winner, 2-time Challenge Tour winner. How has that been accepted amongst the players? And I know it's big fields, but quite exciting.
Yes, definitely. I think South African golf, you know, we've got a lot of good players down here, and they're always looking for a way to get to another tour, and it's an excellent platform, the Challenge Tour. Good try there, little speedy. So excellent platform for guys to graduate onto the European Tour, and what better way to start your season in South Africa for the European guys coming out of winter, and also for the South Africans to get up on the money list straight away at the start of the season. So I think it's an ideal match, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of guys reaping the rewards of this.
Absolutely, Jake. If you look at, the next 3 events, whoever wins has got a Challenge Tour card, and you can plan your year. You can play some of the bigger ones, and
absolutely, I think even a winner of these events will have a very good chance to graduate and get a European Tour card, because the purses are quite good down here, and I have a winners category that's well done by Henny du Plessis, one of the potential guys that I think would be eyeing one of these opportunities. Been playing really nicely, good young player, and the benefit of getting these starts at the start of the season is massive. To be able to play a full schedule now. Let's say this was only halfway in the year, guys would have only played half the season, so we're very fortunate to be able to jump onto this as South Africans early in the season. So Dani van Toorne cleans up there, very flat lie angle on that putting. You don't see that too often, but Dani's got his own way of playing, and he's got his wife always caddying for him, so great character, great attribute to our tour.
Jakob van Zyl, he tee-shot on par 4 11th.
Yeah, 11's playing interesting today. It was playing slightly downwind earlier today, and some of the bigger hitters were going with driver towards the green. And there's quite a bad patch of fairway where the bush pigs came in, and they ate quite a bit of the fairway. So the guys that were hitting drivers were sort of pitching in that area, but I think it's quite a good play if you're long enough to try and have a dip at this green today, because the flag's tucked back right and there's not a lot of room around it, so a full shot is quite hard. I actually went over the green and made a bogey there. So interesting option today for the guys to possibly be very aggressive.
Brayton Mayer taking the iron on a 350 meter par 4.
Yeah, a little bit surprising maybe, because Brayton's one of our longer hitters, but you know, maybe just trying to play the percentages for now.
Yeah, I think also it's been a while since Brayton Mayer's played well, and it's great to see him back in. He's a huge talent. So maybe just want to stay in the hunt there in the third round and do something tomorrow.
Absolutely, no, it's a good point. Interesting. I only see 2 players on that tee box. I wonder where the third guy went.
Yeah, it's Ross McGowan, so hopefully
he's still around.
He's still around, because he was there on the 10th.
Okay. Well, that's a good example now. I mean, he's just pulled it a little bit, and you know, the ball's fine, but the rough is so gnarly and thick that, you know, you don't often get that strike into the iron shot. So then, you know, you lose control over the ball, and sometimes guys don't even reach the greens, never mind just losing control. It's physically just impossible to get it to the green.
Yeah, very coarse grass. Actually, haven't seen much of that before in South Africa.
Yeah, it is. It's almost like they let it go a little bit, and now, you know, they cut it off just before the event. But I think it's great. You know, I think we've got so many long hitters, including, speaking of probably the longest one right here, he's really laid into this one. Oh, great tee shot. And but I do believe that once you go overseas, you know, the rough is probably more severe. So great preparation for our guys to be tested more thoroughly. I can't stress that enough.
Is it fair to say, Jake, that when I drove around yesterday, it seems, again, visually intimidating from those back tees, but it might be kind of a course, once you've played a few times, you know where the bailout areas are.
Yeah, it is quite intimidating. It's quite a long golf course, you know, not just the actual course, just walking in between. You know, I looked on my phone after the round, 15,000 steps playing 18 holes, which is a lot more than any other round. But you're right, there is an element of the design sort of luring you in. But at the end of the day, even although we've had our practice rounds, you still got to execute. You know, it's a good test. Now, this is a good example. Yaku's just ran through the fairway here. You can't even see his ball. And that just shows you the premium on the accuracy here this week. I was probably expecting that one to release a little bit downwind out of that lie. Didn't get it. And once again, you know, short par 4, probably looking at birdie when he was on the tee box, and now suddenly, you know, he's got a 40-footer for birdie. So that shows you this course is really at testing.
Well, our tournament leader, Jacques Kreiswijk, third a couple of weeks ago at the Eye of Africa PGA Championship. He had a putt to tie the lead in the last hole and just kept that form going. Got a 3-shot lead now.
Looks like he's aiming quite a bit right here. He must be looking to draw this ball in here. Jacques, one of our great characters, such a passionate guy, and very high intensity. Just loves spending time around him. You can just feel the adrenaline in his body when you're around him. He's loves his boxing and training, and yeah, quite a character. And it's great to see him play well again, Alan. I mean, he's you know, I'd hate to see one of our youngsters have a tough year and then fall off a little bit, but he's really showing now that he's ready to come back and compete again.
It just shows, even though he didn't have the best year, even lost his card, but the experience he gained there when he comes back here to play, and you've experienced that many times. He'll still feel I've learned I'm a great player. As soon as I start hitting the ball well, I'll succeed. And he's done that many times. He won the Cape Town Open back in...
Absolutely right.
I think it was 2018. You also won the Cape Town Open.
Louis Diage out of the left rough here. Wow, he must have had a decent lie, because it looked like it was really in the jungle there. Great shot from Louis out of there. It was really out of position. Really fortunate there to be able to get a lie, Alan, because that looked like lost ball territory to me.
And off that tee box, you can't see the left side. He must have thought, wow, that's in massive trouble.
Exactly. That I got to say that 10-hole is a bit of a blind tee shot. You can only see the right half of the fairway. And this is Vulcan Inaber, a massive tee shot here. And just let's see if he can take advantage of his length here, Alan.
It's a 430-meter hole.
Doesn't look like he's got much more than 70 or 80 meters here. Beautiful shot. These guys can play, Alan. What a great shot there. You know, taking advantage of his length, and you know, should be able to knock that one in. And the next hole he can drive as well, the 11th. So yeah, here's a good example now. Henny having a dip at this green. I like this play from Henny. Short guy, but super powerful. Beautiful shot, just about 15-20 meters short of the green there. Good position. Still can't get used to these yellow balls, Alan. When I see these guys tee off, I always wonder if it's not a pinnacle perhaps, but it seems to be quite a trend these days.
I see our own Ernie Els used that yellow ball in when he lost in the playoff in his first senior event to Miguel Angel Jimenez and Fred Couples.
Wow,
it's going to be exciting times for
exactly.
Ernie
We always love watching Ernie, and to see him on another platform now is just brilliant. You know, this is JC Ricci, arguably one of the hottest guys on our tour, winner last week. Also a very long hitter. Great play, this driver as well. I like this play for him. Very similar to Henny. I was mentioning that area there. It looks a bit rough. That's where the bush pigs, I think, got a hold of the fairway. They must have been quite hungry over there because they did a lot of damage. But players will be able to drop out of that GUR there, and they'll have a straightforward chip to a backpin position, which is ideal. Donnie, not quite as long as these other two, but he can get it out there. He's a strong boy.
Yeah, he just didn't quite carry it as far as the other guys. Now he might have a little tricky shot out of that.
Exactly. Again, the other two guys, they're going to be able to put their hands on the ball, giving themselves a nice, pure, clean lie to that back flag. And just right of that flag and behind that flag, it drops off and falls all the way down to the bottom. So quite a good little pin placement today, testing the boys.
We have Ross McGowan. He's birdie putts in 11. Long one.
Always great to see Ross out here on the Sunshine Tour. He supported us for many years, Alan, even although when he had his European Tour card, you know, he always came back and played, and great to see, you know, foreign players come back and apply their trade down here.
Yeah, we spoke a little earlier when Jimmy was in the booth, and trying to remember, like 2009, he almost became a Ryder Cup player. He came second in the DP final, and he was unlucky not to get in or dismissed.
Right.
And then had 4 years of injuries and struggles. But
unbelievable, this game can be so cruel. You know, he was at the top of his game, like you said, and suddenly, you know, you fall down, and it's tough to get back up again because there's so many good players at the top, and sometimes you just need a bit of a break and win an event again to get you up there again. But you know, you really got to put up your hand and do it. It doesn't just come easily.
Yeah, looking through the field earlier, there's a few Challenge Tour players who have been European players for a long time or have won. David Dixon comes to mind. He's won on the European Tour.
Yeah, Michael Hoey is another good example. I think a 6-time winner playing here this week. You know, so there's a lot of class that's been around, a lot of experience that are playing here this week.
Yeah, you got to take you're good with your bad, and when it goes bad, you got to try to remember what you did, what were your processes, what were you practicing when you did well, and what were your thoughts?
Exactly, and hats off to those guys still playing and giving it a go. It's not easy. I mean, when the game's not kind to you, it can be very hard. Brayton Meyer Oh, great putt. Well done. Like you said earlier, great to see him play well. I think he had to pre-qualify this week, actually. In fact, I think he won the pre-qualifier. So not often that you see a pre-qualifier doing well in the tournament. Often they're so chuffed just to be in the event, and then they kind of let go a little bit. So nice to see him keeping that intensity, carrying it forward to the weekend.
Our leader, Jacques Kruiswijk. About a 20-footer. Good speed.
Yeah, good effort by Jacques. And, you know, Jacques was on the verge, coming back to our earlier discussion. I think he almost didn't have a card this year, even in South Africa. So for him, these couple of events are massive, not even just for Challenge Tour, but also just, you know, securing his exemption back in South Africa. But it looks like he'll comfortably do this by now. And it's great to see, you know, a guy like this is a big asset, big, strong guy, healthy, fit, hits the ball miles. So really, really good to see him back on our tour.
Yeah, you don't have to guess how he's feeling or what he's doing.
Yeah, he wears the emotions on his sleeve, and but I think people like to see that. You know, there's way too many robots out there, so I enjoy a little bit of a Jacques Kruiswijk personality. Beautiful roll there, kept his head nice and quiet. And Alan, this youngster must be a serious prospect. I mean, really. Ooh, there goes. That's a bad miss there by JC Ritchie. Sorry, just coming back to Wilco Nieuwenhaber. Alan, what do you think about his prospects?
I think they're endless, to be honest. You know, he already showed last week he came tied fourth at the PGA. Unfortunately, got disqualified, didn't sign his scorecard, and I'm sure he'll never do that again. Just watching Henny du Plessis. Neat effort.
Yeah, and he got that one to grip a little bit, which JC's ball didn't do, and JC's in a horrible position now. He's got a terrible lie behind the green. He's got very little green, and it's all sloping away from him. So tough play coming up for JC.
Yeah, I think getting back to Nina, but what a great sign when you have a disappointing thing like that happen to you, and he's shrugged it off, and next week he's playing well again.
That's definitely a testament to his character. I mean, I think a lot of guys will be just absolutely heartbroken after what happened to him, especially considering he's just starting out and he just wants to get stuck in, and shows you he's got a serious game, back at it straight again, and in contention, and chance on the weekend.
And also you got the Tour Champs coming up in a few weeks, and you need to be in the top 50, and hopefully he does well enough here for that last week's money not to affect him.
Yeah, I think that should be fine. You know, if he has a decent finish even in this event, I think he'll probably have enough to cement a card for next season on the Sunshine Tour. And it's always good for our youngsters to get stuck in South Africa. You know, they at least have some sort of status secured, and then they can go travel the world and really start graduating onto bigger, better things.
Yeah, and we have the Cape Town Open next week, which is another joint co-sanctioned event, and the Dimension Data, which is the biggest one.
Absolutely.
And so lots of opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, next week it's two very nice parkland golf courses in Cape Town. It's going to be probably going to be quite windy. That's usually the factor over there. But then Data's at Fancourt, really, really special place.
Oh, JC, tough shot. You can see just really can't control the ball out of that rough.
Yeah, look, it was a really hard shot. He did the right thing by making his mistake long. At least he's got a putt now for par. Such a great putter. Played with him last week in the final round of the team's championship, and just amazing to watch him hold so many putts, and not just 5 and 6 footers, 15, 20 footers. He was really impressive to see. I think they shot a 61 better ball final round. So his game is definitely hot, and he must be eyeing those Challenge Tour opportunities for the rest of the year.
And Jake, how was that received by the players playing in a better ball, or doubles if you want to call it, format?
Oh, last week was brilliant. I think the city of Gauteng, they hosted a fabulous event there for us, and the vibe at such a fun format is totally different than it is this week. I mean, it's a lot more serious this week, and we've got an international flavor this week, but last week is mainly South African guys, and the banter and the chatting and everything. It's the spirit in what is played. It's brilliant, and I surely hope we can keep building on that event and make it even bigger going forward, because I think it's one of the favourites for the players.
Well, the fact that we've made it count for auto merit and has a win exemption might make sure more players play next year.
Absolutely, I think it's sort of justified the event a little bit more and put a bit more emphasis on it. So Henny's got a nice little birdie putt here, a little bit left to right. There's that yellow ball again, Alan.
Likes to defy gravity.
I like what I see from Henny du Plessis of late. Seems like he's just picked up his urgency a little bit. Just looks a little bit more focused and really determined. I see him practicing a little bit more than I used to, and that's a good sign, because I think he's always been very talented, but it looks like he's sort of getting ready to step up to the next level.
Yeah, I need a nice finish at the SA Open, hosted by the city of Joburg. Tie for 7th. It's boosted him up the order of merit.
Richie, no surprise, just rolls in another one. This guy's putting unbelievably well. That's a great save from him. You know, should not have been in that position though. He was in a great position just short of the fairway. And look at Daniel van Tonder out of the rough. He's hit it close here.
How short do you think that putter is?
Well, almost as short as his backswing there, I think. But look, Donnie's got his own way of playing, and also great attribute to the game. He's got his own way, doesn't care about what people say, makes his noises when he hits the ball, but he knows what he's doing, and he's a hard worker. You know, Donnie's not scared to play 54 holes on one day in practice, and great to see him right up there. And he's contending, of course, for the Order of Merit this season. And with Jaco Alles not playing that well this week, I'm sure Daniel is eyeing that top spot come the end of the week.
Yeah, we'll get back to that auto merit in a minute. Ninamba. Wow.
Surely he's having a dip at the green as
looks
well.
Looks like an iron.
Oh, very interesting play. I would have thought with his length, he would have definitely had a go at the green. And that's an unforced error there, Alan. There's a fairway bunker there, and he's gone for the safe play, and he hasn't executed, which is unfortunate. At his position now, I would have liked him to have a dip at this green, but you know, everyone's got their own game plan, and he's sticking to it, so we'll give him credit for that. But I think with his length, with that pin placement, driver was probably a good play. Perfect by Kreiswijk there. Interesting sometimes, Alan, when one guy in the group, you know, leads with a certain play, some guys just followed. The previous group, all of them hit driver, and this group, all of them are hitting irons. So sometimes wonder how people influence each other.
Right, we're going to have a look, a little bit more of Limpopo tourism.
We are welcoming the second edition of Limpopo Championship 2020. We're excited that the tournament has become bigger this year. We've now not only partnered with Sunshine Tour, but Sunshine Tour are also in partnership with the European Challenge Tour. So that has made this tournament even bigger. We've got double the number of players, over 200 that are playing on 2 courses in Limpopo. But for us as a destination, because this is part of our marketing, what is exciting is that there's over 30 countries represented here. Most of these people that are here have never been to Limpopo, so they're seeing Limpopo for the first time. Limpopo has got so much to enjoy. It's really a great destination to be at Euphoria, because families can come. There's a nice water park, there's a cable car, so it makes a good outing just for the family to be out here, watch a bit of golf and just have some fun.
Well, second shot for Vilko Ninaber. We saw him catch the fairway bunker on this 350-meter par 4. Not the easiest shot in golf, although if he's got 100 with a decent lie, it's still a full shot. It's not that half shot.
Yeah, I agree. The full shot is definitely a bit easier, but I've got to tell you, this is a sucker pin. Anyway, probably 2 to 3 meters right of this flag or long, it just falls off all the way to the bottom. So you've got to really stay left of this flag. And Kruiswijk's in a perfect position here. Playing the percentages, being in front, can't fault him by doing that.
Quite a good view of the cable car going around in the background. Have you had an opportunity to go up there yet?
Oh yes, it's brilliant. I went up there with my wife and the kids, and they love it as well. And so much to do over here. We've got this great swimming pool right next to the clubhouse, and can't get my kids out of there. So really, really great place to come and relax, play golf, see the nature, all the wildlife. It really is a great spot. Yeah, see a bit of that intensity. Love the Kruiswijk intensity. You can see it was slightly downwind, just a little bit too aggressive, and he's going to have a tricky shot from there. It doesn't look like the lie is that bad, but really good pin placement today, testing the boys a little bit. So let's see what Diago can do. It looks like he might have just gone into the rough, so might be struggling to control the spin out of this lie.
Jake, have you made the move back up to Pretoria again? Or
yes,
you going to?
I seem to do that every couple of years. Travel with as the Groot track, go back and forth. But yeah, at the moment we're back up country again, sort of looking at other opportunities as well. And for golf, it's just brilliant being up here. All the good golf courses and the climate's so much better. So.
Looked like he was going with a bunker shot with a 7-8 iron option.
Yeah, almost like a full explosion there, but really out of position off the tee, and he won't be happy with that tee shot. Just unforced error, really. I mean, I almost feel like he could have probably hit a 3-wood on the green with his length.
Yeah, it's quite a good view of where you can land it. You're talking earlier. All right, back to Jaco van Zyl. Par 5, 12, second shot.
That's
interesting hole, Jake.
Yeah, first thing right by getting in the fairway. Quite a tricky tee shot. Can't really hit driver. Not a long hole. You just want to get in position with the tee shot flags back left or sort of middle left today. So pretty good eagle chance here for some of the guys. He'll be fine there. He'll probably just two-putt that for a birdie. One of the scoring holes out here, and there's not that many of them, so guys are looking to pick up birdies or even possible an eagle here.
Jake, thanks very much for joining us in the booth. You did it last week at the Eye of Africa, and I'm sure you'll do it again.
Thanks, Alan. It's great to be here, and yeah, really enjoying my time here in Limpopo, and hope to see you guys soon.
Yeah, play well tomorrow, and maybe we'll see you in the booth after.
Thank you. Cheers.
Ross McGowan, his second shot to the par 5, going with the iron. And he's just stuck in that left rough a little bit. So Jake Russ leaves the booth. He's also chairman of the players committee and does a lot of thankless work for the tour, from one legend to another. Welcome, Keith Horn.
Thanks, Al. Appreciate it. Nice to be here.
We'll chat a little bit about Keith now. We're just going to watch Volker Nienaber with his third shot. He found the fairway bunker off the tee with an iron. Had a tricky shot now. He's got a bit of work to do for his par. So Keith, have you shot 70, 70, 70?
I have shot 70, 70, 70. I did my very best to shoot 70 on the last hole, 3-putting from about 12 feet, just to make sure that it's a nice even number for the 3 days.
Well, still solid golf and enjoying a good year on the Sunshine Tour as always.
Yeah, nice and consistent. It's always, it's always nice to play back home in South Africa. It's just, and I wish I could have picked up another win this year. It's always a goal. So we've got a few more events to go, and who knows?
Well, you've had a few, 9 wins on the Sunshine Tour, a great career in Asia. Like you said, 15th in the SA Open, 24th in the Alfred Daniel. That just helps you keep all your exemptions in South Africa. And I was going to say, I thought you were 11th on the Automerit now. Is that right? Or
I haven't checked lately, but I was roundabout there last time, Al. So, like I said, we've got a couple of nice events coming in towards the end of the year and take advantage of those to sneak up into the top 10.
Yeah, you're actually 12th, but there are 3 guys coming out, so you're on 9th.
Okay.
So just to explain to our viewers, you need to play at least 5 events on the Sunshine Tour to stay on the Automerit. So the likes of Brandon Grace and Louis Oosthuizen will fall off at the end of the year. And, top 10 is always a goal because you get into final stage of European Tour School, which I'm sure you'll go to again if you...
Possibly, but also very interested in Japanese final stage. I think we get 3 spots into the final stage there. It is a long way to go to play for 2 stages and stay there and expensive. So it's always nice to get into the final stage. I think that's my first goal if I happen to get into final stage of Europe. I'm getting old. Europe's hard work, so I'm not sure if I'd head back there.
Lou de Jager, also long birdie putt. Looks a bit steamy. Keith, so I'm 46. You must be 47, 48.
48.
Okay,
48.
so it's 2 more years. And obviously the lures of senior tour will be in your thoughts, but that's a long way away. So like you say, Japanese tour. I mean, we've seen, obviously, Peter Khamas, who's at my home course, Clovelly, can't say enough about the Japanese tour, and we've seen Sean Norris play so well over there.
Yeah, for sure. I think Sean, I've been fully aware, playing in Asia for 18 years, I've been fully aware of the Japanese tour. And I think Sean has just brought it to the, right to the front of everything. Everybody's noticing how good the money is, how good the golf course is, and how great it is to play in one country. And obviously, with it, as well as Sean's been playing, everybody's been noticing how much money he's been making. So there's quite a few guys that are interested in playing there now, and certainly it is a fantastic tour.
So this would be a really good par-saving putt. After, to be fair, quite a scrappy hole. After making an aggressive birdie on 10 using the driver.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Probably feels like a birdie after the struggle on that hole.
Certainly does. So 24 years on the Sunshine Tour, Keith, 18 years in Asia. We can really call you a true journeyman, can't we?
I suppose you can. I remember hearing Tony Johnson's version of a journeyman. It wasn't very flattering, but I suppose you could probably call me a journeyman at the end of the day.
Well, I don't know what Tony's description of a journeyman, but for me it was...
Somebody that just keeps going and doesn't really reach the pinnacle of the sports generally, you know.
I don't know about that. I think somebody who applies his trade all around the world and makes a living out of it.
Yeah, well, it's been, like you say, 24 years. It's
and if you can make a living out this game, you've done really well, which you have.
Yeah, no, it's been good, I must say. And to keep on going, especially at 48, and be competitive, I'll take it, and I'll go as long as I can because I enjoy competing. Louis has been playing such good golf lately, and I think his little trip to Europe last year has improved his whole game an awful lot as well. And you come back home with a lot of confidence too.
Yeah, we chatted about that a little earlier with Jake, and the players that go over and play, they come back so much more confident because, I mean, it's just natural. You've gained experience on anybody else that hasn't gone over. And even if you've had a tough time, you've toughened up. You know?
Definitely, and you get to see what you need to try and aspire to as well. You're on the range with these guys. They're some of the best players in the world, and they're grinding it out on the range, and you realize that how much hard work has to go in if you're going to be competing at that level. And you lift your game, and you lift your practice, you lift your whole approach to a golf tournament. And when you come home to that, then it's if you come home to that, then you'll be able to apply all of that, and you are a much better golfer.
Neil Skiddercat going on nicely today.
Yeah, I see Jacques is having a great run. He turned in 4 under, did he?
Little promo for the Sunshine Tour here.
This begins with being obsessed with the need to get everything 100% right.
Greatness begins with taking your game to places you never thought possible.
Greatness is being in control when pressure is at its highest.
Greatness begins here.
Who will be next?
The Sunshine Tour.
Brayton Mayer. Reasonable eagle opportunity on 12. Quite an interesting tee shot there, Keith. Almost looks like you got to favor the right side, but then there's trees on the right side.
Yeah, it does. I played it straight into the wind today. It actually picked up. I could hit driver without even having to try and cut the corner a little bit. It was straight into the wind there, and actually played quite long when we got there today. The wind seems to have died a little bit. And I think the best approach is just to hit 3-wood off the tee box. It's the safest option, and you can still comfortably reach the green in 2.
We saw Ross come up short left for his second. So a little left to righter for his birdie.
I found the guys I've played with today, and in general, been struggling a little bit with the pace on the greens. They're very two-paced. Up the hill and into the grain is quite slow, and down grain is quite fast. You see a lot of the guys into the grain up the hill just running out a bit of pace when it gets to the hole, and often it just dies away, as Ross's did there.
Very interesting grass in the fairways and the rough. Very coarse.
Yeah, very coarse. You know, you hit it into the rough, very difficult to control, and often the lie doesn't look so bad at all, and you think it's going to come out fine, and it comes out sort of completely dead, and it doesn't travel 30-40 meters short of where you think it's going to travel. It's just so very difficult to judge. So there is a premium on hitting fairways out here this week.
So Mayer came up a little bit short with his eagle attempt. This for back-to-back birdies. Disappointing. Daniel van Tonder with his second shot into the par 5, 12th. And after this, our on-course guy, OG, he caught up with the van Tonders. Okay, not too bad there. And we're going to head off to OG. Are you there?
We've got Abby van Tonder with us at the moment, playing the third round. Abby, how are you guys going today?
Good. Struggling a bit, going up and down, missing a few greens, but it's okay. I mean, you just have to carry on. He's hitting the ball really nicely. It's just the wind that's confusing us at some of the holes. So yeah, nice and warm today.
I mean, he spoke about how his game has really come together since all the stuff you guys have been working on. I'm sure you're seeing it, you know, looking at his form currently.
Yeah, no, he's playing really well. He's playing consistent and he's really confident. He's excited for the next tournaments coming up.
Well, good luck for the rest of the tournament.
Okay, cool. Thank you, guys. Cheers.
That is Abigail van Tonder.
I'll tell you what, I take my hat off to Abigail, carrying that big bag around, dealing with your husband every day. I mean,
I think that's the hardest part, having to actually take all the rubbish from your husband, because when they get off the golf course, then she's the boss again.
Really enjoyable watching Henny du Plessis swing.
Yeah, it's lovely. I've always thought it's very similar to Angel Cabrera's. It's very South American, very free, loose, beautiful rhythm.
We're going to go back to OG. Who are you with now, OG?
Thank you, Ellen. I'm standing here with Sarah. She is JC Ritchie's girlfriend and has been walking the course out in the heat. Sarah, how's the third round working out for you?
It's very hot today, I must say. Luckily, I've got the umbrella with me to stay under the shade. I wish there could be a little bit of a breeze, but it's nerve-wracking out here. But I love golf. I play golf myself, so I'm used to it. I'm used to all the nerves. I'm used to all the different types of shots. But yeah, I'm loving it, and I walk with him every tournament that I can, so I'm loving it out here.
Do you then take notes to perhaps maybe give him some tips once he's done, because you know when he hits the bad shots and when he hits the good ones?
I try not to get involved with that because he is, well, I'm amateur and he's professional, so I think it's a different level. But yeah, we've spoken about me caddying for him, and I'd rather stay out of that. So I think keeping golf and keeping home and, you know, keeping our relationship is just, golf's not included in that. So I'd rather not give advice where I have to.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Back to you, Al.
Thanks, OG. Ninaba. Looked like a 3-wood, Keith.
I think very much a 3-wood, and you have to probably take an aggressive line. That's, if it's managed to stay right at the trap, that's his danger there. You could easily reach that trap anyway with 3-wood.
And I see, Keith, your two daughters are getting very big and beautiful and getting all sorts of awards, I see on Facebook.
Yeah, they're getting big, 17 and 12 now, so they can look after themselves. No more running around after them, sort of just drop them, leave them for their own devices. And yeah, Carmen's in matric and Gemma's now into a final year at primary school. But all the dramas of matric farewell dresses and stuff going on at home at the moment, which is, it's almost like planning a wedding. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, time waits for nobody. Wasn't so long ago when you didn't have any kids and
Yeah, and you and I were having a great time.
But one thing I don't know, Keith, I've known you for a long time, but I knew you had some degree, but I didn't know you had a degree in labour law.
Yeah, I'm actually extremely bright. No, you know,
I never said you weren't.
I stand to be corrected, but the only other professional golfer that I know that's actually studied at university and qualified with a degree is Patrick Harrington. I think he's an accountant or something like that. I'm not sure. There are very few professionals out there that have qualified in a full degree before turning professional.
Well, Tony Johnson's got a degree.
In birding?
We know in birding, but no, apparently he did, and he actually studied in Durban.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Durban University as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
And to be honest, I think Jake Rose before you, law and, or was it accounting?
I don't know.
And Oliver
Yeah.
Becker.
Okay.
So
There's
you're
a lot of bright people out here.
unique.
I'm not that clever.
We'll do a survey. We'll do a survey.
You know, my parents were teachers, and they were adamant that before I did anything golf-wise, it was university first.
Wise words. The great view of the Euphoria Golf and Lifestyle Estate. Jacques Kreiswijk, 4 under through 11, takes a 4-shot lead over Lou Diaga in the Limpopo Championship. JC Ritchie, defending champion, now 6 behind. It's getting a bit of a stretch there, Keith.
Yeah, you know, JC's a quality player. I think he can still make it up, but I mean, Jacques has come out firing today. The course is hardening up. It's playing quite a lot tougher, and the scores are showing it, but Jacques certainly come out firing, and hence he's extended his lead like he has. But, you know, there's still a lot of quality right behind him, and certainly a long way to go.
And I think this type of golf course, I saw Laurie Cantor, not to harp on negative, but he made a 12 on the second hole today. And
oh, no.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
there's a few holes that I guess you can be a little treacherous.
Definitely. That is the threat right the way around, and you are aware of it all the time. So there's no lead that's big enough. There's no lead that's big enough out there, so you've got to keep your foot down as long as possible. I also found a little bit that Coral Creek really helped the longer hitters, and they all came to the top of the leaderboard early. However, I think you've got to be a little bit clever, especially with the course getting a lot harder now over the weekend. And I think the other players are getting a chance. The straighter hitters is also, it's sort of evening out as the week carries on.
Yeah, there was certainly some low scores early, like Donnie van Tonder 9 under the first round. I watched a bit of his background on Friday, and I think he finally shot 71 or 72. But like I said, this course you certainly got to find the fairways.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, it's drying out at the moment, and so it's even harder to hit the fairways. They are running a lot, and there are slopes on the mounds on the fairways, which kicks your ball off left to right as well. So it is difficult to hit them, and I think tomorrow, if the heat stays like this, it's going to get tougher as well. Anything under par is certainly going to move you up the leaderboard.
Yeah, and you did say there was a bit of a breeze out there earlier. I'm not sure what's going on now, but which will make it even firmer and trickier to stay on those fairways. Henny Duplessis, what a great second shot into 12.
Yeah, I think he's putting down grain here as well, so you really think it's makeable. There you go.
Gonna have a chat to JC Ritchie's caddy walking in the line there. What a great eagle by Henny Duplessis. Good performance in the South African Open. 13 under, tied for 7th. Boosted him up the order of merit.
Yeah, it'll add to his confidence and certainly carry him forward in the rest of the tournaments till the end of March.
He had his only win at Session Golf Course, where he beat Ockie Stratum in a playoff. Louis Diaga. Talk us through that bunker shot, Keith.
Yeah, I was in that bunker, so I can talk you through it. He's coming from the left-hand side, so it's actually, he's going to have to play off a bit of a downslope very little green to work with, and the grain actually runs a little bit away from you as well. So he's going to have his work cut out to get up and down from there.
I don't know where he is.
I think Louis finished in that category in Europe last year between 117 and 145. And I know you've had your card and been in that category as well. How many starts do you think you'll have?
It just depends. You know, every year it changes and fluctuates, but I think you'll still have an opportunity. You know, with the Rolex events these days, you really have to make a lot of money to keep your card in Europe. If you're not playing those events, you are left a long way behind. But I think he's still going to be comfortably getting 15 events. So he needs a couple of good weeks. But like I say, when he's playing the smaller events, he's going to need close to a win, certainly a few top fives to get his card back.
Well, he's had a good start with his 4th finish in the Mauritius Open, where he finished 1 behind the lead. Had his chances coming in there.
Yes, he did. He played beautifully over there, and he did just right towards, I think he struggled a little bit on the last hole. He needed to make birdie to get into the playoff, and he certainly played great that last day.
Yeah, he had an iron to the green, and he missed it short right, and a tough bunker shot. Kreiswijk, good chance to see this young man's power.
Yeah, he hits a long way, and I think it'll help out the rough as well. But like I say, very difficult to judge the distance out of there.
Oh, trying.
Got a very fortunate bounce there, hard right off that slope. That'll make it pretty easy up and down. Even a chip in for eagle is possible from there. Anything a little bit further left than that, if it had just kicked forward, he would have been left with that same difficult bunker shot that Louis got to face.
Okay, where's that guy?
Just talking through this back 9, Keith. What are the toughest holes? Or signature holes, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, I think so. I think the back 9 is not necessarily the scoring 9. It does get a little bit. Well, the back 9, sorry, is the scoring 9. The front 9, you sort of hang on a little bit. There are some scoring holes, 11 through to about 15, where they're all relatively short, and you want to try and take advantage of them. Just having a look at Ninabe out of the trap here. But this bunk is quite hard. You can see how hard it is. You've richly hit clay at the bottom over there. So it does make the long bunker shot a lot easier. He should have been able to reach the green quite comfortably with maybe about a 7-iron from there. But yeah, there's a couple of holes you need to defend at. Number 17 is very difficult. And a 16 is quite tough as well. Quite a long iron in there. So there are your birdie chances on the back 9, but then when you get to sort of 16, 17, you just make sure you play safe for your par.
Donnie van Tonder, you'll see he hovers that drive ahead.
The lovely driver of the golf ball, Donnie. Hits the ball beautifully straight. When he won in Zambia, I believe it was very tight with very brutal rough up on both sides. And he took the golf course on from the weekend. He decided he wasn't going to back down, and he hit driver everywhere, and I believe he never missed a fairway and just dominated the whole tournament as a result. So he is a superb driver of the golf ball.
Yeah, I remember playing with him at Katu, Sishan Golf Course, which also is quite demanding off the tees, and he just hit driver everywhere. JC Ritchie, the big guy.
Hits the ball a long way. I like his golf swing. I like the way he manipulates the ball around the golf course. He doesn't hardly hits a straight shot, likes to shape it from right to left and left to right, depending on what's needed. And I really do rate him as an excellent player. Beautiful touch as well. Good putter, which always helps.
Yeah, never been the worst thing. Limpopo Tourism. Great sponsors this week. And the two tours, thank you. See the waterworks on the left-hand side. Just another look at the Limpopo Championship. A few of the Challenge Tour boys. Marcel Snyder going along nicely today, 3 under. He's moved into the top 10. JB Kruger.
Yeah, JB got off to a bad start. I saw he was 1 or 2 over in the first round. But his confidence is up after his win in Korea, and certainly coming out firing now in the last 2 days and really shooting up the leaderboard.
There you are, Keith. 21st. Good round tomorrow. You can jump right up there.
Yeah, plan to see if I can sneak into the top 10. It's always good.
Little clickety-click, 66, and
that'll have to do. Now, I see the leaderboard's quite dominated by the South African players. I think it's a bit of a culture shock for the Europeans to come over with this grass. It's not I don't think it's really a case of them being struggling to compete with the South African players. I think it'll take them maybe this week just to get used to the temperatures and to get used to the grasses that they're playing on. They really seem to struggle around the greens mostly and judging how the ball comes out. A lot like we do when we go to Europe. It takes some getting used to.
Yeah, fair comment, Keith. I think next week playing Cape Town and then Dimension Data will be much more suited for them.
I think Data will suit them a lot. I think Cape Town maybe a little bit. It is also quite a difficult golf courses to play with different grasses, but it will suit them certainly a lot more than this week. And I think we will see a lot more Europeans competing at Data. Like I said there, Louis, very tough shot from where he was at the back of the bunker with hardly any green to work with there.
Donnie van Tonder. Good view what he has left. The back right flag.
Yeah, very little room right and very little room long here. Intend to aim at. Donnie's not scared of going at the flags.
Another meter on that, he would have had lots of trouble.
Looks like a perfect day for golf out there now, Alan.
Yeah, when I was at the clubhouse earlier, the wind was definitely blowing. That's because you were on the course.
Yeah, I've finished now, so it's perfect. It's calmed down completely.
Uphill into the wind all day, eh?
All day. I'm used to it. I'm great into the wind now.
Just to give the viewers some idea, Keith, how many are you hitting driver pretty much everywhere? Or I mean, we saw 11, the guys can hit iron, but holes like this and 16 and
yeah, I think you're mostly hitting driver. 16 is a 3-wood off the tee box, and I ran through. You can even hit an iron of 16. It is getting hard and fast now, and the ball is running a long way. So the driver is being taken more and more out your hands over the weekend. But this is definitely a driver.
And the 18th, it obviously depends where the tee box is. I mean, can people get over that ravine?
Not from the tee box we're teeing off, not even close. It is downwind today, but I think the carry is about 400 from the back tee box, so you're not even going to consider that. I hit 3-wood, and you nearly ran through today with 3-wood off the tee box.
Back to Louis, birdie chip. Not so bad.
I think Louis is going to start getting a little bit frustrated. He just needs to stay patient. He's just bogeyed 11, which I think you think is a birdie hole, and now he hasn't birdied the very birdieable and possibly an eagle on 12. And I think he might start to lose a bit of patience. He's just got to hang in there. Still plenty of birdie opportunities to come.
So we got Wilco Ninaber, we've got Jaden Shaper, who's just turned pro. We've got Garrick Higo. Quite a nice bunch of young guys coming through. It'll be interesting what Jaden decides to do with his career and where he goes from here. He'll obviously have to go to the tour school, our tour school in March, and then what his plans will be from there.
Yeah, I've heard lots of good things about Jaden, and certainly the young players like Wilco and all that they certainly not scared to win and compete when they come out here. They've hit the pro circuit with a bang. So I'm sure Jaden will be the same, and I wish him all the best.
Quite a tough start to your pro career when there's 204 players in the field, 60 cut.
It is a tough cut. It's amazing what those extra players do and how difficult it makes the cut to get through. It almost improves it. You have to improve your score, I'd say, by a minimum of 2 to 3 shots.
Well, that certainly wasn't Jacques Kruijswijk's best putt.
Played with Jacques in the Tour Championships a couple of years ago, just before he got his European Tour card, and I was so impressed with his ball striking. He played beautifully, and I just had a quick chat to him afterwards. I found he got a little bit intense on the golf course. Even when he was playing well, he sort of lets his emotions get to him. He needs to calm himself down. You know, obviously you can get pumped up when you make your birdie or your eagle, but you need to bring yourself back down to another level field again. Otherwise, I just found he just kept on getting higher and higher and higher, and you almost burn out towards the end of your round. But I certainly rate him as a player. He has a good swing, a lot of power, and certainly doesn't lack very much in the golf game.
Yeah, very powerful. Enjoys all his fitness, CrossFit, MMA, all sorts of things. But yeah, he's certainly intense. You always know how he's playing and what emotions he's feeling. Ooh. Thought they almost came back to him.
Nearly popped back out of him again. Yeah, I think emotions on a golf course are really good. You don't want to be too flat, but at the same time, if you don't bring yourself back down to a level again to focus onto the next hole, sure, the adrenaline gets you going, but it carries you so far, and then all of a sudden you get to a point where you start to lose concentration, you start to do things too fast, and you rush something, and then you make a mistake, and then it's like all the air just comes out of you. And that's sort of what happened to Jacques when I played with him. And I just found that if he could just bring himself down a little bit each time, he'd have a lot more control and a lot more longevity.
Good to see Ninaba's going with the drive on 13. Let's see how far he can get it down there. We saw him hit one on 10, and looked like he had about 50 in. To be honest, I don't know.
To be honest, I've never seen him play, so this is my first look. And if he's hitting driver here, he's going to have to cut it right over the long grass. He's going to have to hit it way right. And which is he's done. He's cut off a huge piece there. You can see the 100-meter marker there, and that's to the middle of the green.
Yeah, 420 meters, and he's got 100 to the middle, so a little 320-meter drive. Baby cut.
Into the wind.
Not that long then.
Yeah, I only hit 9-iron in there, Al.
Kruijswijk. Also not a short hitter.
Yeah, it's one of the few holes, even though it's a dogleg right, it just sort of gives you the feeling there's quite a bit of freedom out there, and you can loosen up and open up your shoulders. See the wind's blowing a bit there, Al. Seems to have picked up again. It sort of picks up and dies all the time. It certainly does look like it's back up again now. He looks like he's lost it left here. Okay, left side. Makes the hole a little bit longer from there, but on the short grass, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I also thought he hit it left there, but yeah, like you say, on the short grass, but probably not the side he wanted to be. And that 9th, the par 5, Keith, is that reachable today?
Yeah, it's downwind. The tricky part is the tee shot, because it's down off the left, and this fairway slopes from left to right, and it's one of the hardest fairways out there. So it tends to kick hard right once it lands. So you do have to hug the left side to hold the fairway. And after that, it should only be about an iron in.
That was his birdie chance. Clemens Sade, he had his tour card a little while ago, a year or two ago. And that tree in the middle of the fairway, Keith, do you have to lay back behind it, or can you get past it? Or
Oh, that's the bane of my life, that tree over there. I think I'm going to have to come and cut it down. If I hit driver, I'm stone dead behind it. If I lay it back, I get a nice big bounce, and I'm still stone dead behind it. So, yeah, I think the best thing to do is to lay well back from that. You've got to take your medicine, because if you do lay back to it, it's quite a big tree. So, you're going to still be going in with an 8 or a 7 iron if you lay far enough back. Whereas if you hit driver and manage to get just past the tree, it's nothing but a sand wedge in. So if you do take it on and you maybe just a little bit 20 yards longer than me, it's a big advantage to get past that tree.
Thanks for that info, Keith. Johansson, he's got this to get to -6. '37-year-old Norwegian. Had one win on the Challenge Tour, Andalusia match play. You played with him before, Keith?
No, I haven't. I haven't. Not in a tournament. We've had a practice round together. I'm trying to remember where it was, but no, not an event before. See, Brayton's laid well back from the trees, just hit a 9 off the tee box here. And unfortunately, you missed the fairway, which means judging the distance on the second shot is going to be difficult. Just losing the control there with no spin and going through the green. It is down grain, downhill from there, so it will take a little bit of skill to see if he can save his fall.
And this tempo has never changed.
Never changed. You took the words right out of my mouth there, Al. Whether it's a driver or a wedge, it's exactly the same. Just beautiful. Keeps his head so high and so still through the golf shot. See, he's struggling a little bit today, but picked up a birdie.
Alan, I am standing with Mrs. Van Zyl following Jaco Van Zyl today. How stressful does it get for you when you watch your husband walking around in a tournament like this?
It's obviously always nicer when they're playing nicely, but we just kind of take it day by day, and some days are more stressful than others, but golf is like that and it's very up and down, so we must support them and carry on.
He is one of the most experienced players on tour, so I guess you've learned to deal with the emotions as well, depending on how he is playing.
Yeah, he has his days, and I kind of try to keep calm, and because obviously my energy feeds off on him and his on me, so we just try to keep the playing fields level between the two of us.
And for them as players, I mean, does it comfort them seeing someone that they know, family members, working with them in the ropes?
I hope so. I really do hope so. But yeah, I mean, I'm very grateful that I can walk with him and I can be out here with him. So I do hope it makes a difference in his game.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Yeah. Let's back to you, Al.
Thanks, OG. Catching all the girls out there today. Keith, thank you for coming into commentary.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
I can't believe it's the first time you've been in the booth.
Yeah, I'm hope to come back and do it again. I enjoyed it, and yeah, lovely to keep you company here for a little bit.
We will certainly get you back, maybe even tomorrow, or if not there.
After the 66.
After 66, then you got to come back, all right?
Okay, no problem.
You'll be leading the clubhouse.
I'll be in a good mood.
All right, Keith Thorne, thank you very
Alan.
much. Thanks for joining
very
us.
Much. My pleasure.
Good luck tomorrow. Back with Donnie van Tonder. 390 meter par 4 14. Perfectly down the fairway, past that tree on 14. As Keith leaves us, we are joined by Dylan Naidu. Welcome, Dylan.
Hi, Al. Thanks for having me. I'm excited about this.
Absolute pleasure, yeah. Dylan, you've had a successful year. You're lying 35th in the order, which is a bit better than that because a few guys will come out of that. We'll come back to that now. Let's just watch JC Ritchie. Lovely free-flowing swing of JC Ritchie. Yeah, Dylan, you've done nice this year. You've guaranteed a nice exemption for next year already. You're going to be in the Tour Champs. How's that feel?
Pretty good, honestly. First part of the season didn't go as planned and really had to get some work in and improve. Happy with the way the season is finishing though.
Yeah, I mean, you started coming through at the Alfred Daniel Championship. I was commentating there, and you finished nicely there. You've continued good work from there on, and I'm sure the Gary player squad is very proud of you. And tell us a little bit about that and how that's affected you.
Yeah, so it's my first year being a part of the Gary player class. The funding they've given me and the support they've given me has been instrumental in what I've done this year. And yeah, the competition within the squad has been pretty good too. I played with Keenan Davidson today. What an awesome player, and it's been good to play with guys like that who push me to get better.
Oh, well done, and congratulations, because that makes it all worthwhile, and the funding that goes in and is working. Back to Louis de Jager, his third shot on 13. He didn't birdie 12, and he's bogeyed 11.
This is really tough over here.
Pretty well done, really. That bunker's pretty firm.
Yeah, it's a good shot. I mean, just short side yourself in these bunkers. It's never easy to get up and down.
Oh, Volker's done the same after he only had 100 in from the right side of that fairway. Doesn't look like a spinny kind of lie.
Definitely not. He's probably going to have to pitch us either just on or maybe in the fringe if he wants to get it close.
Yeah, that was to be expected. So quite interesting. You and Keenan Davidson playing this morning or today. Some big rivalry. Is there any little incentive for who finishes on top of that Gary player class squad?
I believe there is. I think there's 250,000 Rand who goes to the winner of that order of merit. Right now, we're all chasing Toto. But yeah, it was good to play with a guy like Keenan who's been on this tour for a while and knows what it's all about. Experienced player, and he's only getting better. So yeah,
he gets it out there a long way.
Yeah, for a small. I mean, we're both pretty small guys, and he gets it pretty far out there. Yeah.
I'm just having a look how far Toto's ahead of you guys. He's coming into the booth a little bit later. Toto Timber, there is 556,000. 180 behind, but you've got a couple of big weeks ahead. Dimension Data will be a big one. Cape Town Open. Well, all of them. Tour Championship end of the year or March.
Yeah, it's a great stretch of events. This being my first year, I'm playing a couple of the courses for the first time. A bit different to some of the other guys out there who played them for quite a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, that certainly makes a big difference. Jacques Kreisweg for his birdie. Asking it to come down in Afrikaans. And he was fine.
This back right pin's pretty tough on the golf course. It looks like it's almost off the green when you're standing in the fairway.
Well, we've seen the last two groups, leading groups, and Jacques was the only one to hit the green. They've either been right of the green, long. That stretch coming in now. What are the holes you need to look out for, or be conservative on, should I say?
I'd say 17's playing pretty difficult. That back left flag is great putt there from Volker. Good save. 17's playing pretty tough, and the flag on 16's also not that easy. So there's a few holes where you just have to have about a 20-footer for birdie, and then 18's gettable if you're in the fairway. So there's that birdie chance. Not that many birdies coming in, honestly.
Keith Horn was saying a little earlier that he felt the first nine was a slightly better scoring opportunity than the back nine. Would you agree with him?
Definitely. I didn't play it very well, but there's definitely more birdie opportunities on the front nine. Than some of these pins are really tucked, and when the wind gets up even a little, it's not that easy to put your tee shot in the position that you want it to.
Well, an important putt for Lou Diaga. He's had a little momentum shift the last couple of holes. Sometimes the par putts are the most important.
Big save, that one.
Trying to break out into a smile, Louis. Back to Jakob van Zyl for his birdie attempt at 14. It's a bit right to left.
Yeah, a little right to left. That's a pretty long putt he's got here. It'd be good to get it within a couple of feet.
No break. No three.
Yeah, good effort.
I played with him at SA Open in the first 2 rounds, and you can see he's played all over the world. He knows exactly how to get it done, how to make sure he makes the cut even if he's not playing great. Really good player.
Yeah, Jakob van Zyl, 14-time Sunshine Tour winner. 3 South African PGAs in that. He hasn't quite crossed the line in Europe. He's had 5 run-ups, and 2 of those were in playoffs. Going to have to do a bit of work to get back on that European Tour with his injuries. Unfortunately, he's had some medicals, and I don't think he has any status at the moment. I'm sure he'll be back at Tour School soon. Ross McGowan.
Nice one, Doug.
Nice birdie putt from Ross McGowan. Have you got any ambitions to go to any other Tour Schools next year?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go this year to Europe, and I'm thinking about going to the US as well. I played college golf there, so I have quite a few buddies who'll be willing to host me, so that's also an option. Yeah.
Exciting stuff. Good luck in all those ventures, man.
Thank you very much, yeah.
Brayton Mayer. A little bit of work to do for his part.
Ooh, you were out like
Not much you can say about those putts except they hurt.
Yeah, Brayton's a really good player. Had the chance to play with him last week at Danefin Team Champs. We didn't play together, but in the same group. And yeah, you can see his golf game is really, really good, and he just needs that little bit of confidence and things to go his way, and it's going to start coming together for him.
Van Sale. Good two-putt from front of the green. Yeah, Braden May finished 34th on the Auto Merit 2 seasons ago, and last year some injuries, lost his way a little bit, and looks like his confidence back. Daniel van Tonder. Good shot, very unique golf swing. We discussed it earlier. That right leg straightens the right elbow on the longer swing. It gets completely out of position, but powerful, strong, and just a great example that you don't have to be perfect to be able to play this game.
Extremely functional golf swing. Through the ball, I mean, he rotates so good through it, and you can see why he's been so successful if you look at his downswing and how he gets to impact. It's awesome.
Absolutely. That club stays very square through the hitting area. A little disappointing for JC Ritchie from that distance.
He practices out of Tux, where I practice too, and it's amazing just to watch his rhythm when he hits balls. It's really, really something to see. I enjoy watching him practice because it helps my rhythm too.
He certainly does have great rhythm, JC Ritchie. It's like our own South African version of Patrick Reed.
The golf swing, yes.
That's the big hitting Wilco Nienaber. Down 14. Got a nice little bounce off the right. My goodness.
That's huge. Wow.
Hang on. My little yardage book says, yeah, 390 meters. And that's about 23 from the green.
What a talent.
360, 370 meters.
It's insane.
Wow. Looks like Kreisweg's taking an iron, laying up well back of that tree. I hope that's just a camera angle that we can't see, otherwise he's made a mistake with an iron. Certainly doesn't look very happy either, so
yeah, I think that's going to be almost in the thick stuff. Hopefully it's not.
As always, just a nice economical swing. Lou Diaga connected. Not much can go wrong.
Yeah, he works pretty hard in his golf swing. He really puts in the hours. It's good to get to practice around guys like him because it pushes you to become a better golfer too.
He certainly does. Even when I was playing, he was working hard a long time. Yaku Alas, 2016 Vodacom Origins winner at Euphoria. Playing this week. He's made the cut. Even younger Eric van Rooyen in the background there. Yeah, Jaco Aller's 9-time winner. That was one of his, probably in his mid-wins. Won the Investec Cup the one year as well. Past Nienaber is past Louis, because I mean Louis had a nice driver. He's next to that tree, and he's still going, and he's still going. We've just had some confirmation that Jacques Kruijswijk is in that thick rough on 14. You're wishing he took a driver now.
And he's pretty long too, so I think he probably could have got it well past that tree. Surprising that he didn't hit driver. He likes to hit like a low bleeding fade, started on that tree and just move it right of it.
OG, how's he lying there?
Alice, not the greatest of lies. He's got 170 to the flag, into the wind. I think you guys are right. He probably would have preferred to take a driver, trying to play safe. Pushed it a bit right, and now he's got this shot to navigate.
Oh, great effort. Helps to have power and strength. Get it up over that tree and for the club face not to turn. In thick rough. Catch that hosel of the club, or the heel of the club, gets caught up in the grass, turns over the face to the left, and normally goes well left.
He's a big, strong boy. He can get it out of some gnarly stuff.
Can't have much more than about 90 in from there.
No, this is a good birdie opportunity here for Louis.
Just to give you some idea where Louis just hit his second from, and he's still walking, and he hasn't reached Wilco Nienaber's ball. Probably 10 meters short of that bunker, which is even longer. A good shot, just got a little unnecessary skid.
Yeah, it's fun to play with Wilco. I played a lot of amateur golf with him in the last year.
It's a nice shot of the par 3 15. Not probably one of the shortest ones, 150 meters, because 17 is 200 odd.
Yeah, 15 is a very gettable hole today. It's playing about 144, if I remember right. Very good birdie opportunity.
And yeah, we've got a shot of Henny du Plessis. A decent shot from Henny.
Even me.
Have you played with Daniel?
I actually haven't, but I just really enjoy how he just goes about his business and he doesn't care about what anybody else thinks. On the range, when he hits balls, he makes a weird kind of squeaky noise when he hits it.
Yeah, that came from his boxing days. He used to spar with his dad a lot, and when you punch, you let out, I don't know, some kind of air out your nose, and he definitely does it a lot more on the range. He doesn't always do it on the course, occasionally, but I don't think always.
I'm just blown away by how to himself he keeps and how he focuses on what works for him. I think that's the most important thing about professional golf, is doing what works for you.
Ah, well said. I think that's so key to, as a pro golfer, to understand your swing and what you can maximize, and then just perfect that and not get sucked into, and I did it at times on the range, and then trying different things, and somebody's got some kind of theory, and so easy to do. Strong character if you don't do that, and that's what's needed. You saw Jaco van Zyl on the same line earlier. Didn't turn as much as he thought from right to left.
It's a pretty slow putt from that front section of the green too.
Bookies. Kind of get the feeling like you could be in the Kruger Park here.
Absolutely. There's a few holes where you walk across the path and you can see a ton of wildlife all over the show.
Yeah, Jacques Kreisbeck, bit of a pull there. Got some work done for his part. Some of the members enjoying the pros playing on their golf course.
Nice to see people coming out to support the event.
I guess with Ninaber's length, you often walk away with a disappointing par, and you have to learn to deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, with the way he hits the golf ball, every single hole is potentially a birdie hole. It's a really good birdie.
Fourth one putt in 5 holes. So it's good to see he's got a great short game and strong putter with that length. Great combination.
Yeah, I think he's improved a lot of those parts of his game in the last few years. He's always been long since we were kids. And the scoring ability has just increased exponentially in the last little while.
Another quality shot from JC Ritchie. He 12 under at the moment. There we have it. Jacques Kreisbeck maintains his 4-shot lead over Ninaber and De Jager in the 2020 Limpopo Championship. Quite a few guys, Henny, Duplessis, JC Ritchie, last year's winner, a further 5 behind. Good rounds for Skittercat and Kruger, moving up the leaderboard. Jens Dantorp, he shot one of the better scores today, 4 under. Marcel Snyder, Anton Kolsberg, some of the Challenge Tour players. Nice to see them come out here and support these events. And Reynell playing well. Jaco Prinsloo, one of the winners from last week's team's event. And there he is, Mr. Dylan Naidu, -5. Always good to be in red figures in the top 30. Well done.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised at how much I moved up. I came off the golf course kind of expecting to be in the same place, and the scoring hasn't been as good as the first few days. The pins were tucked today, definitely.
And like Keith Horn is saying, it's getting a little bit firmer the fairway, so not so easy to hit.
Absolutely, it's easy, and once you're in that rough, you have almost no control over the second shot. So makes sense why it's a little bit higher. Yeah.
JC Ritchie trying to convert.
It's a tricky little putt, yeah. It's not that easy to get the read right. Right in the middle.
I think he just hit it firm enough for, took everything out of play there. Jaco van Zyl approach. Have a reasonable chance for his birdie. At the par 4 16th. So Dylan, this 16th hole, what did you do for tee today?
I had 3-iron. It's a bit of a driving iron, so if I can get it low, it tends to roll out quite a lot. Yeah, I had both the guys in my group hit 3-wood off that tee. And yeah, it's important to hit the fairway, but it's also important to hit it pretty far up there on the fairway, because if you're playing from 170 into that green, it's not that easy to hit it close enough to give yourself a good birdie chance.
Yeah, it looked quite narrow, that green. Bunkered on the right. Richie looked like he's going with some kind of driving iron, possibly a 3-wood.
This is probably one of the narrower driving holes on the entire golf course. And if you are in the rough, it becomes a par hole. There's no way you can make birdie if you're in the rough from this hole.
Yeah, third hardest hole today. And the 7th is the hardest hole. I think this is actually for the week, sorry. Just caught the right edge of the green.
Yeah, Volku's got a lot of club head speed, so when it does go a little wrong, it's going to go a little offline, but he's hitting so much less club than most of the guys are hitting, so he can attack pins in a different way. Yeah.
I haven't seen too much of your swing, so it was quite nice to get a side view and how wide an arc his takeaway has.
Yeah, so that's... If I look at it, it looks like there's a lot of lag in the downswing, and I think that's probably because of the width in the backswing. He rotates so good through it. It's really pretty to see when he's hitting driver well.
Yeah, wide on the way back, it's difficult to keep it wide on the way down. And then create that little Shambach effect, that lag hit. Our leader, Jacques Kreiswijk. Right, one on the right edge, one short left. Got to have one straight, surely.
I'd bet on Louis being the guy to hit it straight in this one.
Seven short. 80.
Yeah, we called it, didn't we? Quite interesting. You can see him grip that club down a little bit, so he was probably in between clubs. Just gripped it down an inch, takes a few yards off it.
Yeah, we were playing that all. It was quite downwind, so for me it was just a good pitching wedge. But if the wind switched at all, then it's right between a 9 and a pitching wedge.
Picture in the background of Naboom Spruit, where we are staying. That's the driving range in the front, it looks like. Bryce Easton sneaking into the top 10. Same with Neil Skiddercat. Nice to see Skiddy playing well. Great player. Has been for a long time. Long putt for Brayton Mayer. Steamy. He's had a bit of an up and down day. I mean, he stayed around where he started 800 par, but every time he makes a birdie, he seems to give one back. But like we saw earlier today, anything around par is not too bad.
Best score at the moment, 4 under.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look through all the scores, and that seems to be the best. So, good indication of how the course played today. Have played placing this week. So if you thought Jar Kreiswijk was doing something dodgy, there's not. Longish birdie putt for Vulcanino, but we saw his wedge hit well to the right. Any break in this, Dylan?
Not much. This whole green is very flat. A little bit uphill and then down towards the hole, but not a whole lot of break in this. Didn't quite give it enough to get over the up. Yeah, I played a amateur event last year with Vilku, and front 9 he shot 36, and on the back 9 he shot 29 with a bogey. So he can turn it on really quickly.
29 with a bogey. Wow. Jacques Kruiswijk, the young man who started his golf at Corrie Creek, 6'5". Good effort. Now plays his golf at a Centurion Country Club. 6'5" and does a lot of exercise. Likes his CrossFit. Not a bad combination.
Yeah, and when you put that together with his competitive personality, I mean, great guy. I played a couple of rounds at Centurion with him, and even if it's a casual round, he wants to beat you.
Back with Henny Duplessis. Second on 16, not happy. Like all the players this week, finding it really difficult to control the ball out the rough. Very coarse grained grass. JC Ritchie, defending champion. 4 birdies, no bogeys today. He's come up a club short.
Yeah, it's tough to trust where that flag is. On the yardage book, it's saying you have about 6 or 7 past it. But when you're standing in the fairway, you literally looks like there's nothing behind the flag.
Yeah, the green obviously goes diagonally across it a little bit. Louis De Jager hanging in. 3 birdies, 3 bogeys today. Minaba successful, his par 3. This is fairly straightforward.
Yeah, it's just the fact that you're so much below the green from that chip shot. So if you pitch it in the right spot, which it seems like Henny's done, you can get it pretty close like that.
You play in sunglasses or not?
I do not, but I've actually been thinking about it now. I mean, there's so much glare on the golf course. It's very difficult on your eyes. Yeah.
Let's have a look at the par 4 16th. Give the viewers some idea of the thick stuff in the bush, or the first cut of rough, which is very coarse and difficult to control. His second shot, players hitting in between a 3-iron and a 3-wood to lap before that donga. And today, that pin is up on the right, back right today. So there you have it. Great overview. Now you have it what they see. The players. He's got driver out, so he's just taking on all that stuff. And
I think he's probably going to go over the entire donga. I don't know how long that is to carry, but that's not really in my playbook.
Probably looking at about 330 meters at least. Well, that is way right. Hopefully it's not in the the tall grass, but because that spotter would not have thought anybody would have gone over that slough today, so he's out of position.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was the best play. I mean, even for him, I don't think he's aiming at much fairway.
Kreiswijk doing the sensible thing, taking an iron.
Both Louis and Jacques played this previous year in Europe, and you can see the experience coming through in how they're playing this golf course.
Just catching the left-hand rough. Hopefully the spotter has found Ninaba's ball. Back to Dani van Tonder. His birdie chip. Slightly aggressive. Certainly plays everything, all his chip shots and pitch shots with that firm, stiff-armed, successfully. That was JC Ritchie's par putt. We saw him early on in the front of the green. Back to Henny. He chipped up here for 3. Nicely done. There's your playing partner, Keenan Davidson. Fellow Cape Townian, he's moving in the right direction.
Greatness begins with being obsessed with the need to get everything 100% right.
Greatness begins with taking your game to places you never thought possible.
Greatness is being in control when pressure is at its highest.
Greatness begins here.
Who will be next?
The Sunshine Tour.
Oh, gee, I believe you found somebody out on the golf course.
Lisiwa, thank you for joining us today. You know this course very well. You're a member here, and you have been following the leaders. Anything you've picked up today from them?
I've picked up that their strategy is to hit as many fairways as they possibly can, because it's difficult to hit the green from the rough or get any closer to the pin. So the strategy would be to hit as many fairways as possible and take it from there.
I mean, you saw there on 14, he never hits the ball so long. Have you even reached that far, close to that green there?
I would be there on with my second shot, yes, but never that far with a drive. I think it was an aggressive play there.
And Jacques as well in the lead, playing solidly well. What do you think he has to do to keep the lead in this last stretch?
I think he needs to keep doing what he has been doing, not try and force issues, let it come to him. On the previous hole on 14, he tried to be a bit conservative and almost missed his 4-iron shot from the tee. So he just needs to keep at it, keep hitting fairways, and I think he should be there.
Cool, thanks. Let's go and enjoy the game.
Thank you very much.
All right, back to you, Al.
Kreisweg, perfect position here on 16.
Looks like he's swinging it a little bit too far out to the right to be hitting the cut that he's looking for.
Yeah, he's not swinging left, as you want to call it. It actually looks, compared to the PGA, to be honest, a little bit longer he's swinging today than it has been. And that could be why I might be getting a little bit behind himself, which will get you in too much of into our plane. Louis, can he control this ball out this left rough? Front left, father of 2 young, beautiful kids at the moment. Louis probably enjoys his week away, not getting too much sleep at home, I wouldn't imagine. Long birdie putt on the 17th green for Ross McGowan. Good 200-meter par 3 this, Dylan.
Yeah, it was a bit downwind today, so played a little bit less, but still a really great hole. I'm glad they played it from the back because that's where it should be played this hole.
Agreed. Well, it looks from this angle like he's in all sorts of trouble, but hopefully his lie's not too bad. Doesn't have that far in. All right, so he's escaped from too much trouble. Brayton Mayer, par 3, 17th. Little decel. Ooh, but it gets there. Well done, Mr. Mayer. Dylan, thank you for coming in. Good luck for tomorrow and the rest of the season. I'm sure we'll have you back in the booth at some stage. And all the best for the upcoming year.
Thank you very much, Al. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Jackie Van Sale, magnificent shot into 17. And he converts.
Sorry, the zoom on one.
Leo Diaga, he's getting ready to play his third shot. A lengthy putt up the 16th green. This will be really slow for Louis Diaga. Do well to get this up to the hole. And he's unfortunately left himself with lots of work to do for his par. Lovely overview of one of the feature holes here at Euphoria Golf and Lifestyle Estate, 17th par 3, 200 meters. Obviously water if you miss hit bunkers, well bunkered on the right. It slopes up from front to middle and then it goes back from the middle down. JC Ritchie. We heard from Dylan Naidu earlier, it plays a little bit downwind today. Another beautiful shot from JC Ritchie. Great distance control. He has a wonderful opportunity of making his 5th birdie. No bogeys today. Lovely view from the clubhouse. Waterworks on the left, 18th and 9th green. And fairways playing alongside each other. Henny Duplessis. Looks good. Sounds good from the claps ahead. Volker Ninaba, we saw him hit a big drive up the right hand side. Hacked out to here, and looks like he can make a safe par. Just as I thought we were going to run out of fellow players to come join us in the box, we are joined by Neil Skiddercat. Afternoon, Neil.
How's it, Al? Yeah, good to be here. First time in the box, so yeah, it's very nice to see golf from a different side.
Yeah, nice round today. 3 under par, 69. 3 bogeys, 6 birdies. Always a good sign to make lots of birdies.
Yeah, I can't say much about the bogeys. I've been making quite a lot of bogeys lately. But yeah, it's 3 under around this golf course is, you know, you make 3 under every day around here and you'll take it.
The best score of the day is 4 under so far, and both of them are leading. Well, first and second. And then JB Kruger and Danstorp 4 under, so no better than that. Louis has this for par, about an 8-footer up the hill on 16. Oh, nicely held. Or nicely hold, should I say. So, a lot of the guys seem to be coming out battling with their club selection on 16. I don't know if that pin is playing havoc with the players, or is there quite a uphill on the front of that green?
Yeah, there is a little bit of a false front, but the wind comes, you know, from all over on that hole. So it's very tough to see, you know, where it's coming from. I also came up short there, and then it actually leaves you with quite a tough chip coming back up the hill.
You just had a nice overview before you came in of the 17th and a nice drone shot, and 200 meters, give or take today. I'm not quite sure exactly where the tee box is, but playing a little bit downwind.
It was playing 201, wind downwind, slightly out the right. It's a really tough hole. You need to kind of commit to your club there. If you miss it anywhere left, it's a little bit of trouble. I missed it left, not in the bunker, but in that longish grass you can see there. So you got to hit it 20-foot right, and then it's quite kind of an easy putt. But it's a serious golf hole to be a 17th hole really.
And you've been up there this week in that?
No, I haven't been up there yet, but everyone says it's great views, and apparently you can have a drink while you're up there. I wanted to go up there now, but I was called into the box to join you.
Well, we're very grateful for you, Neil, for joining us. I haven't been up there either, but if you say there's a drink up there, I might pop up there later. Daniel van Tonder, long-range birdie attempt. Coming up a little short, so after Van Tonder's opening 63 -9, he's been hovering around that mark for the last 2 days, keeping himself thereabouts, tied for 6th with the big man on my right, Neil Skitty Cat, Bryce Easton, Clement Sorday, JB Kruger.
Yeah, Donnie's been playing some really good golf lately. He's I'm pretty sure he's 3rd or 4th on the order merit, and he's just one of the most solid guys out there. Hits driver on every hole. It's got no fear. It's kind of nice to play with him. So when you do play with him, you know that you're gonna see a show.
Getting that, Daniel van Tonder is lying 4th on the auto merit, but the first 2 guys will not stay on there. Brendan Grace and Louis Oosthuizen, as you need to play 5 events. So at the moment, it's a Alice van Tonder chase. Jaco Alice about 180 grand ahead at this stage. Henny du Plessis, has he hit it? Has he hit it? Oh! Good effort. They look a little bit on the slow side, the greens today.
Yeah, they're a little bit slow, a little bit soft, but you know, you hit a good putt, it kind of holds its line. So if you're putting well, you're gonna make a lot of putts out there.
Yeah, watching today, we have seen a fair share of putts go in. I mentioned earlier that Henny du Plessis has lost a bit of weight. The beard's gone, the hair. He's like really made an effort and almost shifted up a gear. We saw JC Ritchie's lovely approach to this par 3. This for his 5th birdie of the day. A little bit from his right, Neil?
Yes, definitely. It'll touch out the right, a little bit downhill. It's a great putt. I played with a couple of guys that are actually missing that low left. You've got to really hit a good solid putt there.
So this defending champion is not going away. He has moved only 2 behind. Jacques Kreiswijk bogeying 16 to JC Ritchie's birdie 2 on 17. All of a sudden, a lot more guys in contention, depending how Jacques Kreiswijk finishes off this round. But to be fair, Neil, this course can bite you, so a low round for you tomorrow, or 66, you never know what can happen.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen out there. You know, it is a tough golf course, long, but yeah, I mean, I think Jacques kind of got things. I wouldn't say he's got the tournament in the bag, but he kind of knows what he's doing out there, and he's won tournaments before, so he's still going to be hard to catch. And then obviously you got JC that won last year. That's going to be a good race.
Big hitting Wilco Nienaber. Massive arc. Wow. Not happy. That has gone well right, I assume. We saw him do that with a little wedge on 15. His drive on 16, but we've also seen some spectacular tee shots. He drove it on 14, just short of the bunker, short of the green.
Yeah, these youngsters are really hitting a long way. I've heard a lot about him. I haven't played with him. I've seen him hit balls on the range. It's quite special. I played with a guy, Nicholas Moller from Denmark. He's also ridiculously long. It feels like you've got to take your cover off when you hit.
Still got to hit it straight, still got to get the ball in the hole. Liberty Yaga. It's hanging on. Has it gone a little left? No problems there. But if that was a club further, he would have trickled into that bunker, I think.
Yeah, and that's no good. That's where I was, and I made one of my bogeys from there.
Happy with that? Yeah.
Right, so Jacques Kruijswijk missed a fair one, 14. The Purish wedge into 15, short left. Left again on 16. Let's see if he can settle. Hit a decent shot. .50-50, another foot and no chance. But still pretty difficult from there, Neil.
Yeah, he's got a chance there.
With his fine partners of the Sunshine Tour.
Looking at these two par fives, Neil, the 9th and 18th. 18 not reachable where the tee is today?
No. You know, maybe Wilco and Nicholas have got a chance of maybe hitting a 3-wood on there, but I can't see anyone else getting up and into there today. It's two big hits, and then you've probably got a nice little lob wedge in.
It'll be interesting if they play that tee up tomorrow to see if the guys can carry that sloot.
Yeah, so last year, final round, I actually played with JC the last round, and the tee was forward, and we both went for it. And obviously, he was in the running to win the tournament, and he hit a great tee shot, and I think it was a 5-iron to about 4 foot, and obviously got into the playoff that way.
Yeah, that he did. We saw that earlier. They showed that clip. I'm glad to see Daniel van Tonder has brought the small bag for his wife Abigail, because I was convinced that was a big bag last tournament I watched him.
Yeah, it's not often he brings out the small bag, actually. It's normally the big one. I think she actually likes to carry the big one.
Great overview of the par 5 18. The sloot we were talking about earlier. We'll have to wait and see if they're going to move that tee up tomorrow, where you can, the bigger hitters can try get over between those two trees. But today, the majority a layup hole. Anywhere short of that right-hand bunker, I would imagine, Neil. Or
yeah, probably just short of that right bunker. You're probably going to have about 85 in from there. Kind of the pin is front right today. It's a kind of simple little shot in there.
no problems for JC Ritchie. Trying to keep intact his bogey-free round.
Well, this Henny for a small guy hits the ball a long way. I don't know. You know, TV doesn't do any justice, but for a small little guy, he hits the ball ridiculously far. I played with him at the team's championship last week, and it's quite special to watch. And yeah, he's lost a lot of weight, and he's actually working with Grant Feenstra now, and he's had some great results.
Yeah, Grant's done a great job for many players, as he's done with you. Van Tonder.
As I said, he hits driver everywhere. There on the 18th hole.
And he hits most fairways as well. Look at that. The last part of the fairway.
Yeah, it's his straightest club in the bag, and he'll tell everyone that as well.
Well, that's a fantastic little chip shot from Jacques Kreiswijk. Give himself a great chance to save his part.
Yeah, well, that's a great chip. Jacques' a great player. He's just kind of got to control his emotions out there, and I think he could win a lot more tournaments.
Yeah, we had Keith Horn in the booth earlier, and he said the same thing. You know, I think it's also important to understand your character. If Jacques' a pretty intense guy, and he gets himself emotionally pumped up, and he plays well in that. You know, if he didn't have any of that emotion, he probably wouldn't play well either. So it's that balance of knowing yourself and what works well for you. Some players, you know, just can't keep emotions in, and then it bottles up, and they get frustrated. So depends.
Yeah, definitely a balance. Some guys are too relaxed, and some guys are too pumped up. So yeah, definitely find a little happy medium there. And yeah, like I said, I think he's a great player.
No, there's no doubt he's a great player. Skids, but you've always been pretty chilled, eh? I mean, I actually can't remember ever seeing you getting cross on the golf course, to be fair.
Yeah, I kind of keep it inside. I definitely do get angry. But, you know, once you've hit the shot, it's gone. It's absolutely nothing you can do about it. You can just kind of improve on the next one, really.
Good attitude to have. Udiaga up the hill. I'd imagine a little right to left.
Oh, that putt is so slow. I was just going to say how well Louis been putting the last couple of weeks. Also had some great results. Almost won in Mauritius. He was telling me, I'm actually staying with him this week. He's just moved to that putter a couple of weeks ago. And I've looked at his stats this week, and they've really been good.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be in the booth at in Mauritius when he lost by 1 in the end. And he really had it going. I think he was about 8 under through 12, and he had a great chance of 15, which unfortunately he missed, and then 18 had a long iron to that par 5 and water left, and he hit it obviously in the right hand bunker, which is understandable, and almost hit a great shot and ended up just losing by 1, but still a great start to his European year with the 4th finish. Ninaber, Mr. Green right.
Ooh.
To settle for his bogey 4. Kreiswijk for his 3. Likes to hit them firm, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. That's a great 3. I'd like to see him make a birdie down the last and kind of maybe to have a 2 or 3 shot lead going into tomorrow, kind of settle the nerves, and yeah, it'll be nice to see him win a trophy again.
Jaco van Zyl. The rhythmical Jaco van Zyl.
Probably the best rhythm in golf.
A little bit of wind coming up there. Ross McGowan.
Al, the rough is so tough. As you can see there, the balls come up short. Often we think it's going to fly and then it comes up short, and you know, with the wind it really makes these last couple of holes tough if you miss the fairway.
Thank you to all our partners. Greatness starts with you.
All right, Jar Kreiswijk leads by 2 with 1 hole to go in the Limpopo Championship. JC Ritchie, the defending champion, has kept himself in with a great opportunity. Diago further 1 shot behind. The long-hitting Ninaber bogeying 17. In the booth with us, Neil Skiddercat, 69 today. He's in a place tied for 6th.
I'd like to see what Ninaber does on 18, if he's going to have a crack at it for 2, or if he's going to lay it up and wedge it.
So if you hit it where Donnie van Tonde hit it, right at the end of that fairway, you still got about 287.
Yeah, so Wilco played with Louis the first couple of days, and the first round he had 306 and he hit 3-wood pinner right, so he's definitely got the firepower to get 286, Al.
I guess the key is to get it right down to the end of that fairway and be on the fairway.
Yeah, like I said earlier, if you're in the rough, you got absolutely no chance.
Great to see Ross McGowan out, supported our tour so well over the years. Nice to see him fit and healthy and not having any issues. He's kind of in the last year or two, every time he looks like he's going to move on and get his European card back, it somehow just gets knocked back again. Brayton Mayer. Can he get it back? Shoot even par for the day. Carry on. Oh. Disappointing.
Nice to see Brayton playing well again. He's had a bit of a tough time, but he's one of the harder workers out here, and obviously 7 unders. It's a good score this week, and you know, a good round tomorrow, and he'll have a good finish, and you know, it's nice to see nice guys doing well.
Yeah, he certainly is a nice guy. I saw him in George earlier in the year. He'd moved back there, seemed happier. He's been working really hard. This is the first sort of breakthrough, I think, this season. Onwards and upwards. Jaco van Zyl. Lots of bogeys and birdies today for Jaco van Zyl. Five bogeys, 5 birdies, and hopefully it'll stay that way.
Yeah, he hasn't left himself the nicest of putts to finish off your Saturday. It's about a ball outside right, and you've got to keep the pace up, otherwise you're going to lose it left.
Back to the 18th tee, Louis Diago.
Comfortable one now. Yeah. Okay. Happy? Yeah. On the tire and
Shark Racefolk, I think he can actually get close here if he hits 2 good 3-woods here, Al. If he gets one right down to the end of the fairway, and he's definitely got enough firepower to get it on the green.
Yeah, 6'5". Happy with that. He got quite a soft bouncer there.
What did you say? 6'5". 6'5" and a lot of aggression. He's definitely got a big chance of getting up there too.
Inaba. Well, he got the bounce.
Well, he's actually got quite a strange finish. Kind of a under release, holds it off. Obviously scared of left. It's not a bad thing. It's actually quite nice knowing that he can't miss it left.
Van Zyl for his part. Nicely done. Yeah, I haven't seen him hit any shots left at all today. A couple right. Very wide backswing, and obviously going to get a bit of lag on the way down. Like you say, then he just holds it out. But interesting to get so much power that way.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at it. I'm not quite sure where he gets the power from. But yeah, it's a nice finish, knowing that the ball's not going to go left. You can only miss it right. You know, as professionals, we only want to miss the ball right or left. You want one miss and not two. You don't want to be hitting it left and right.
Spot on, Neil. You can play taking one side of the course out. You can't play if it's going both ways. Well, we're talking about 6'5". What's your height?
I'm probably about 6'4", but I don't have 330 in me, Al.
Yeah, maybe like 6'4.9". No, you got plenty length and a lot of accuracy, which helps.
Nice to see Andre Nel playing nicely again. Had a couple of good events. Also, one of the nicest guys out there on tour. You know, always speaks nicely to people and wants people to do well.
Nice to hear. Again, just seeing the difficulty to control it after semi-rough. And he's almost got a Richard Sterney backswing. Like loads into it really well.
Yeah, there's a lot of power there. Hits at ridiculous distances. You know, if he just got his putter really warm, he could win a lot of golf tournaments. Donnie van Tonder, that lob wedge of his, Al, I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's been grounded at the bottom. There's probably zero bounce. It weighs nothing. It's like a feather, but he's absolutely amazing with it. I've never seen anyone like that with a lob wedge. I've tried to chip with his lob wedge. I put the grass over the ball because it just digs in. Yeah, definitely one of the guys to watch when he's chipping.
Yeah, we've spoken about in length today about Donnie's technique and he believes in what he's got. Have a look at the animals and the tourism. JC Ritchie for a closing 66 in the third round.
This is not the easiest two-putt, Al. It's down the hill, winds into, so it kind of makes you think it's a bit slower, but once it gets past the hole, it's really quick. Like I said, it's not the easiest two-putt out there, but make that for a 66. That's a great score out there today, Al.
Yeah, certainly would have been. He has that now testing the left to righter for his par in a 67, which will be the round of the day. Nicely dressed today, old JC. Nicely coordinated with the white pants and the white top shirt. Very impressed.
Yeah, I think his girlfriend's got a lot to do with that, Sarah. Obviously, when he started out, wasn't the best dressed, but now that he's got a girlfriend, is definitely helping. You know, a lot of these guys need help out there, you know, because all they're worried about is getting the ball in the hole.
Yes, we heard from her earlier. We actually had an OG interview her.
Lovely goal, and actually a very good golfer herself.
She was very modest because she just said she played golf. She didn't say how well she played golf. Henny Duplessis was 2 over through 7 holes. Been 4 under since then. Seemed to break up the hill.
Yeah, if he can get that putter going, he's going to win a lot of tournaments, and he's working hard with Grant Fenster, I know that, and you know, Grant is a genie when it comes to short games, so they'll definitely tap into that part of the game and work hard on it.
Your wife ever caddy for you, Neil?
I would never put it through that.
Donnie, closing birdie.
You can see even Donnie's starting to dress a lot better now that Abby's dressing him. You know, got the grey going there. She's been on the bag for a while, and she does a good job. She does a really good job, keeps him calm. That's a very good partnership they got going there, and you know, all credit to her.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of good partnerships, the Easterns as well. Worked out well for Lauren and Bryce. Left to right this, Neil?
Yeah, it's about a cup and a half outside left, and you've got to keep the pace up, otherwise it's going to down you. But I'll put money on it. I think he's going to make it.
Good call, Neil. Great round from the defending champion, JC Ritchie. And Neil, your young family, your youngster is how old now?
He's 2 and a bit. He absolutely loves golf. Just wants to hit golf balls into the next door neighbor's gardens. Yeah, just anything ball-wise, but loves golf. Yeah, one day if he wants to play, then he's got to give it a bash, I suppose.
Nice sound to that crisply struck iron by Jacques Kreisweg. Get out of there, though. Needs to get a little lie to control his third shot. Ludiaga trying to position his rescue.
Yeah, just short right to that right bunker. Louis got a beautiful golf swing. What do you think, Al?
I've always enjoyed Louis Diaga's swing. Very centered over the ball. It's one of my preferences. I enjoy that on the backswing. Gets into his left side well. Oh my goodness.
I think that's gone through. I think that's gone just through, Al. I'm not too sure. I don't quite know what he was trying to do there.
Yeah. Hit that 3 wood thin, and it appears like it's shot up and right, but hard to tell. But it didn't look like he was hitting another ball, though.
Sad what happened to Wilco at the PGA, walking out the scorer's hut without signing his card and getting disqualified. But it's something that he'll learn. He's still young. I still think he's going to win some big tournaments in his life.
I think he's got endless potential, and we'll be hearing a lot from him. Yeah, would have been a 4th place position, which could be quite pivotal in the end when he's trying to get into the Tour Champs top 50. He did make a nice check at the Alfred Daniel Championship, so he could fix that all this week by playing well. But yeah, he won't do that again. He'll do that once. Hopefully, he don't even do it once.
Yeah, not even once. You don't want those demons in your head. But yeah, even if he doesn't get into Tour Champs, Al, I think I mean, his career has just started. He's got a long way to still go, and it's just kind of a stepping stone for him in his career. He's a great player, and what I've heard about his game, it's going to be quite special.
Well, we've watched today, and well, we watched the Eye of Africa. It certainly is exciting. Just trying to establish where Ninaba's ball is.
I think it's here at the spotter. I think this is Wilco's dad walking up to his ball here. There, he's looking at it. From there, he's probably got about a 9-iron in with his length.
There's Lou Diaga's kids and his wife. Only about 20 months apart, I think, or 18 months apart. Nice for them to walk around with their dad and husband. He's been traveling a lot last year overseas. He must have missed them a lot, all of them.
Yeah, it's not easy when you're away and you've got little ones. Feels like you miss out part of their lives, and you know, the little stepping stones you miss out on. But you know, one day they'll understand what we're doing. His kids look very well behaved. I'm not too sure my youngster would walk down the cart path like that.
So then he takes after his dad, then, or? So, you got to say, quite fortunate, Wilco Ninaba. That could have kicked back in and would have been playing 4 from the same spot. You can still get away with a par, maybe even a birdie.
That's a great shot, Al. I just wanted to say that, as you can see there, I mean, it was just a puff of dust. It looked like it was going to come up short. There's obviously a lot of power there, and yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Looked like he got a little caught up in that grass.
Yeah, it's really tough to judge, you know. Most of the time it comes out soft, but you don't want to play for it coming out soft and then all of a sudden comes out hot. There's a lot of trouble behind these greens, long grass, trees, bush. So you play for it just normal, and it comes up short, then at least you've still got a shot.
Nice little kick off the cush.
Yeah, you can see there the difference between coming from the rough and coming from the fairway. At least the fairway you can create a bit of spin and, you know, leave yourself an uphill putt.
We're going to go down to OG on the 18th. He's going to give a little summary of today's play.
And thank you, Al. It's been a windy afternoon for the players who are finishing at the back, and definitely a tough day out. You can tell with the scoring as well. JC Ritchie, 5 under the low round of the day so far. He's been playing very well and definitely is in contention heading into the second day. Jacques Kreiswyk, he's the current leader at the moment, and we've seen this week he's had problems with the 16 hole. He bogeyed the hole on Thursday, bogeyed it again, but that was his only drop shot for the day so far. Definitely playing well and going into contention. One of those players who actually wears his emotions on his face, and walking with him today you can tell that he's in a good mood and in a good space, and you can definitely tell that just by looking at him. Him and his caddy playing very well, and also communicating very well throughout the entire round, and I think his caddy has played a big role for him today. Wilco Nienaba, I mean, he hits the ball a mile and he's sort of hung in there. Got a bit lucky here at the 18th, but he's definitely in with a shout heading into the final round. Back to you, Al.
Thank you, OG. Oh, final green. Final threesome. One fairly decent chance for birdie from Lou Diago. Outside chance for Nienaba and Kreiswyk.
Scores are quite on top of each other there, Al. Looks like it's going to be quite an exciting day tomorrow. You know, someone comes out early, shoots a quick 65, I think, and post a nice low score. It'll make the leaders think a little bit. But yeah, it's going to be a good race watching it tomorrow.
100%, it's going to be exciting. That's what we want. Nienaba, can he escape with a miraculous birdie?
Just like I said earlier, once it gets past the hole, even though the greens are slow, it just kind of gives you that little extra 1.5 feet that you got to put the marker down and you got to think about it.
Kreiswyk. I'm not sure if there's any break in this, Neil. We saw Duplessis kind of go a bit right, but he was a slightly different angle.
It's a touch out the left, but not a whole lot, Al.
Oh.
It'll be nice to see Louis knock this one in, Al, and it would shoot 1 under today. Struggling day, obviously. I haven't watched much, but 1 under around here, anything under par is a great score around here.
Yeah, he kind of just lost a little momentum around 10, 11, 12. Made a sort of scrappy bogey on 11 from not that far and didn't get it up and down on At par 5 for birdie. But like I said, it's going to be the same, not the same final group, but JC Ritchie will join them tomorrow, regardless what happens with this putt. Snuck in the left-hand side. He moves it quietly to 2 behind.
Yeah, I think he'll be quite dangerous tomorrow, actually, because he's, you know, he's obviously led the Mauritius Open, leading it. A little bit more pressure when you're leading the tournament going into Sunday. So yeah, definitely watch out for him tomorrow.
Yeah, he's lurking. Was in with the outside chance of PGA, so maybe this is his week. Ninaba, he'll take 5 and run.
Yeah, and keep running. It's 5 on that hole. You're not losing any shots on the field.
Third round leader, Jacques Kreiswijk, minus 16. Neil Skiddercat, thank you for joining us today. Well played. 3-time Sunshine Tour winner. Good luck tomorrow. Make it number 4.
Thanks for having me, and yeah, hopefully low one tomorrow, and enjoy the viewing.
Thank you very much.
Three under par today, solid round in this tough conditions.
Yeah, I'll take it. Obviously, that's not the back nine I was looking for, but you know, the wind's really up now, and I'm just excited for tomorrow. You know, this is the position I want to be in, so let's go.
2-shot lead heading into tomorrow. What's the game plan?
Same game plan. Just play aggressive golf and make as much birdies as I can. So we'll see what happens.
Good luck tomorrow, Jacques.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Back to you, Al.
Nicely done, OG. Nice, positive. Jacques Kreiswijk. Make as many birdies as you can. Best form of defense is to attack, they say. So, having a look at some of your favorites. It's Kreiswijk by 2 from De Jager and Ritchie. JC Ritchie, the defending champion. A couple of the Challenge Tour players. Federico Macario, Marcel Snyder, James Allen, Christopher Mimis, all playing nicely. Our current Rookie of the Year, Garrick Higo. He is -5. See Deboko Safatsu playing nicely, 3 under par. Couple of tougher rounds early in the day. Well, for more of us here in the studio, we look forward to you joining us tomorrow to watch the live streaming at the Limpopo Championship here at Euphoria Golf and Life Estate. And for all of us, bye-bye.